Hello, everybody. It's us. Do you remember us? We're the Battle Realm and Beyond podcast. It's me, Rich, and it's Dan as well. I should point to the correct side there on the screen if you're watching the video. We're back doing another podcast. It's been some crazy times, some unusual times, cruise times, theatre times, different times for different people. And whenever we get a chance, it's nice to kind of talk about MCOC, and when we can talk about like films and other stuff that's kind of like happening. But yeah, we're back. Follow us on the SoundClouds, the Spotify's, the iTunes podcast, and wherever there's a podcast, we're probably on it. But yeah, hello Dan.
Hey Rich, it's been a minute. Stuff's happened.
It has.
Been some life, been some in-game stuff. It's funny every time. I feel like we take the first week off.
Yeah.
It's because, nothing really happened in the game, so we don't have that much to talk about. So it's okay if we miss this one. And then week 2, things just blow wide open.
Yeah.
Like a million things happen. And I don't even remember everything that's happened since the last podcast, but we've had issues with latency. We've had Alliance War changes. We've had a new store. We've got an in-person live event. Kabam has been cranking out the news in the last couple weeks.
And that's the thing, like, at the point of recording this video podcast, it's 8 days since the new events have launched, and I already feel like a month has gone.
For sure.
I just like, and I think that's because I've done I've done all 18 runs of the side quest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many side quest videos have you done at this point? You may be going for a new record.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm definitely done now.
I hope you're done for your sake.
Yeah, there's comes
it's
a point.
A lot.
Like my guide video, the guide spreadsheet, which it's got loads of kind of like infographic things that I've made with it. I've kind of reached a point where, I mean, it's handy to say it's all done because I just don't. I'm not saying I don't have the time. At the point of kind of getting the podcast out, this is the day that I'm about to accept the job offer, which is really good. So that's something that I may
Congrats, Rich.
Thank you. That I may be starting on Monday. It will be doing. It's quite an interesting type venture. It's going to be working on gaming analytics and also producing things surrounding things like response rates on certain things. I have to think about like what I'm allowed to talk about, what I'm not. I have to I'll explain a bit more to people as goes on, but it's a different side of like the games industry, which is interesting enough, and should be really exciting to like delve into. But in any case, back to the point is I've kind of gone off on a tangent. I've lost my way of what was I talking about? You can tell I like being away from doing podcasts, and I can't kind of like.
We're a little out of practice.
We're a little out of practice.
It's all good. It's all good. I think we were just getting into kind of like all the big news.
We're just trying to catch
from this week, and you were talking about the side quest and sort of the diminishing returns from like at a point you can't do another video or another spreadsheet on a piece of content. You got to just call it a day.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just, believe it or not, I don't I like to spend a week talking about 7 days worth of content about the side quest, and that's it. All the explanation videos, maybe some like tips, tricks and stuff like that, and it's done. So I can then start moving on to other things. Like I've got plans for a new series. This is going to be a really exciting new series. It's called Secret Champions You Did Not Know About. 5-minute videos about some of these kind of like rare champions Kabam put out, a little bit of comic book history with them.
Cool.
and looking at models of them. So it's like things like the Dark Phoenix or the old Human Torch for that limited time where we had the kind of the old version. There may be kind of one that kind of like brings into ones like Jessica Jones and Weapon X before they were released in game, and how they
same kind of thing.
Yeah, and I just like to. I may even kind of like try to contact Kabam whether or not they'd be interested in some maybe ones that we don't know about.
Yeah,
because
there's some unreleased ones or some concept ones, but that Dark Phoenix one, man, if they ever release that, they're gonna get some people who would spin crystals for that Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, it gives me hope that maybe one day they could do like a Jean Grey, because they did do like at a time one that was Jean Grey, but it was kind of like it was kind of like the Phoenix. Yeah, it was kind of like, it's kind of weird. So Any case,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
an interesting new
yeah. I
series that I'm
think
going to be doing.
we want '90s X-Men cartoon Jean Grey.
Yes,
That's what we need.
yes, definitely want that. And I also like, I'd like to see more like like if they were to put her in like the telekinesis type powers to
Yep.
it.
Yep. She needs to be picking things up with her brain. She needs to be doing this and picking things up and throwing it at people.
Yeah,
So
I
not,
agree.
the Phoenix thing, obviously that's more like fire based and kind of a very different set, and is a cosmic champ too. So
Yeah.
we need a mutant Jean Grey.
Yeah. Oh, that's something. There's just to go off on a tangent because we haven't had a proper kind of catch up. But I
Yeah.
think I saw an old forum thread from you back in 2018.
Oh.
I don't know if it is you. I have to like double check. I just gotta like get
Yeah.
the.
No, send it to me. I'll be able to tell you right away.
I'm gonna try and like get the link up. This could be like quite
Oh,
embarrassing for
we're
kind of
doing
like.
some digging here.
Yeah.
This is fun.
So I want to say it was your account. I'm just trying to get. Why is it not load? Come on, load up the link. It's terrible when like you need to get up a link, and then for some reason your
Right.
PC is just absolutely freezing when you need it to do it.
It's got performance anxiety.
Yeah, I can't find it. That is really, really annoying. That's bothering me now. That I'm not able to get. I'm gonna have to try to see if I can quickly find it on the forum of what I was. So are you in game? Are you Dan3?
Dano 357.
357.
Yeah.
That's good because I can search it. No, it's not there. Damn it! I think you were talking about something to do with Arena. I can't find it, and I'm really annoyed about that because I'm pretty certain I found it. But I'll have to kind of. We'll talk about it next. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. Was it the like Catalyst Arena maybe?
It might have been about that. Yeah, it was kind of cool because it was like at the time you got. I played this game for 3 years, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is kind of like so cool, nostalgic type thing.
I do remember something about like I wrote a very long post about like the Catalyst Arena at some point, because this was at the point where it was like I needed every like tier 4 basic you could get your hands on. It was like literally one of those like every 9 days you're like, oh, I can get one now. And like put up 2 million arena points, and I think it was prompted from that frustration. But it's like you guys who just joined in, like you don't know like how hard it was back in the day to get some of these catalysts. Like back in 2016, where it's like if you were in the right alliance, you couldn't get a T4CC to save your life.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy.
It's weird how the game's kind of evolved so much, and like this week we're talking about things like Titan crystals and
Titan crystals, and we're voting on Twitter.
Yeah,
for Spot or Quicksilver.
At first I was like, this is cool, and then after a while I was kind of, this is weird. It's weird on the reach of people. There's two. I've got 2 prongs to this one. Prong number 1 is who it affects and how it affects them. Prong number 2 is the viewership or kind of like interaction numbers. I'll start with the interaction numbers. So the interaction numbers, I think I saw that there was about 60,000 views for the particular post, but only about on average about 7,000 votes in interaction, which is kind of like, well, that's what 8%, whatever it is with that. And no, in some ways, in the community management world, that is actually relatively good. They say that's a good kind of that's a good it's not retention rate, it's something rate, conversion rate. That's actually a good conversion rate, because a lot of times not many people do interact with stuff. But the second thing for that was, because I was like, well, wasn't this best served in game, because then a lot more people will get involved with it. So I guess it's one of these things where it is what it is. But then it got me thinking about, well, who is this actually going to affect? Because then I kept looking at it and going like, in all realism, like me kind of looking at my 7-star shards and my 7 stars, like by the end of this month, I may have a slight chance to open my 5th. I want to say, or was it 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I've done 5. I think I've done 5. Oh,
well,
God,
you duped one, right?
Yeah, I duped one. I've done 5. So I may get a chance at the end of this month to do my 6th, right?
Yep.
And I'm thinking like, well, I duped one.
Yep.
when the heck am I going to be able to dupe another one? And when the heck am I be able to get a Titan crystal? Like,
yeah, I just opened number 4 last night. So yeah.
Did you? And is it like, have you got 4 straight new champions?
Yeah, four unique champions. Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, when is this actually? What like, I know this is really. Is this just benefiting those that have been able to whale out or kind of like, use and get lucky? Because that's the thing, you have to get lucky with Paragon crystals and get lucky with 6-star dupes, and then get lucky with duping said 7 stars.
Yeah, I mean, long term, I think it benefits everybody.
Yeah.
Certainly, as these I think maybe the focus for the average player shouldn't be the Titan crystal, but the fact that if you vote for them to get in the Titan crystal, you're guaranteeing they're getting put in the basic crystal after that.
Right.
And that's a bigger deal for everybody.
Okay.
So in the short term, you're absolutely right. Like, you gotta whale out to get Titan crystals. Like, you don't. I mean, unless they start really putting those shards in a lot of content, which I don't imagine they're gonna do. Like, maybe they give you one to the average player to get a taste of it.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be popping multiples anytime soon unless you're really opening a lot of crystals and probably spending a fair bit. And fair enough. But yeah, I mean, the idea of Warlock in the 7-star basic pool, like, that's exciting. Yeah. I like that down the road.
I do as well.
That's going to be useful. Or even some of the newer champions. Danny Moonstar. I'm 3,600 units deep for her, and all I have is the guaranteed 3-star from the arena.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I really want her. So there's a handful of champions that I said I would pop featured crystals for if they ever came to the game, and she is on the short list of that, and she looks really good. So we'll see. I may do another 5 tonight or tomorrow, depending on how we're feeling. I got the units, but I had to take a break after 12 last night.
Yeah, that's the thing. How you have to question yourself, like, how deep do I go on this? And same with Paragon crystals. Like, I do like Paragon crystals, but it does come a point of going,
I do too, yeah.
I see people getting, from one crystal a 7-star, 2, 3, or 5. Like, oh, they got a couple of 7 stars, and I'm looking at mine going, well, I barely scraped a 6 out of this one. It was like mostly about 4s and 5s, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't see myself.
I've had a couple pulls where if they had been the first pull, it would have been a really good pull. Like, I got a 6-star Kingpin out of one.
Nice.
And it's like, okay, if that was your first 6-star Kingpin, that's a game changer. I actually max sigged my 6-star Mojo last night, which was
nice.
That's good. I just brought him up to rank 4. He's my most recent rank 4. He's been excellent in Battlegrounds. Always been one of my favorite champs. Was certainly I'm at the point where I can start rank 4ing champions that I think are fun.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Without
I think
implications.
That's the issue. I kind of see with a lot of people is that they go like, oh, this is why do you rank up that? I think that's the thing. Over the years, I've begun to start hating is that.
Yeah.
Narrative from people going like, well, look, rank up what you like. I wanted to do a quick number crunch as well, because you have to look at this again from a Paragon crystals point of view of how much feature Paragon crystals? Are they 300?
They're 300.
300. So
yeah,
I suppose 200. The issue I think a lot of people, especially those that are non-spending, have to look at is, do they save up 21,000 units for deals of like July 4th Cyber Weekend in order to try and get, say, one fully formed 7-star? Because that's the chase meta for a lot of kind of Paragon
you're
players.
Getting a 7-star, or you're going for the rank the rank 5 resources.
So this is going to be a thing, isn't it? Like, do you take 20? Because I just have to do a quick calculation. Do you do 21,000 units towards? That was 21. Do you waste 21,000 units on 105? It's probably be backwards for you. It says, does it say 501 to you as opposed to 105?
No, it says 105.
Okay, good.
It's right.
For me, it's like around the other way. I'm looking at this. That's not right.
It looks right to me.
Okay, good.
Thank you, calculator app.
Yay! 105. 105 Paragon crystals. So in 105 Paragon crystals, you have to go, am I going to get I'm sure people will be able to do the percentage and the sums of it, and I'm sure through the drop rates.
Right.
But 105 kind of like crystals, and you have to get yourself, a 7-star, maybe even 2 7-stars to warrant it. And if you go that deep to get 7 stars, you might be looking at going, well, July 4th deals, you would miss out on, if you're a Paragon. You may get like more than that, more than 2, 3, 7 stars worth.
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure. Well, if you look at the Shooting Star quest and what that gave back as a result, and maybe Kabam are going to change the way they do some of the deals to be fairer, better. Who really knows?
Yeah.
It's a risk at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't know. Certainly when they did that Shooting Stars quest, they had the event in there with all those milestone rewards. It's like, okay, like I kind of looked at it as I'm going to spend some units, but I know exactly what I'm getting right now versus saving those units for July 4th and not knowing what that is. It's like, this is good enough that I'm willing to use these units right now. So we're kind of always making that choice. I think, when you talk about those July 4th deals in the units, if you're being free to play or a very light spender versus the Paragon crystals, it's like, well, how kept up with the meta do you need to be? If you're just kind of like, I want to get some champs and I'm going to play at my own pace, I think you can go for the Paragon crystals if you want to, because you're not trying to push the envelope. But if you're really trying to catch up, it's kind of like those Brian Grant videos back in the day where he was like, okay, like this deal, I need this deal to have this much and have this many units so I can stay free to play and be at the top 0.1% of the game.
Yeah.
And keep up. Like you can't really do both. So yeah, I think again, it's you have to make the unique choice that's right for your play style and your account. But yeah, those Paragon crystals or Cavalier, whatever, Thronebreaker, wherever we are, those are always a huge gamble.
Yeah.
So
that is I just thinking like, what is the future? I've got to do my next path for the Shooting Star quest now that I've got I've now got 4 7-star champions, because of course dupes are like, and when people say to like, how many 7 stars have you got, Rich? I'm like, it annoys me a little bit to say I've got 4 champions, 4+1. It's because it's like, I want to 100% a Shooting Star quest.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not saying it like limits you, but it definitely gets you closer, slightly quicker to getting that, and getting some more Paragon crystals for free, and also getting some more 7-star shards for free, so I can then but not remain competitive, but these 7 stars are going to be key things going forward.
Absolutely.
My biggest concern is how this impacts the kind of, without Ascension, because obviously we don't really know 100%.
Yeah, we still don't know.
The gap between someone that is able to spend a lot of money in the game and have rank 2 7-stars versus myself, which is kind of like, well, I'm Paragon the same as their Paragon, but I'm a lot lower down, and I can't get up there. I'm so close. I need to do Act 8.2, and that's on me. But I decided to take a holiday.
Same thing. That Act 8.2 is still sitting at 0% completed for me, and that's really, talking about future plans. That's really where I need to focus in the next month. So I'm kind of doing a reset after Battleground and the delayed Alliance War season rewards come out. Is I'm going to leave my alliance. Kind of do a reset. I'm going to be solo for at least a couple weeks. Try to really get into Act 8.2. And then I really got to decide what I'm going to do. Do I at least... I'm at the point where I don't want to wake up in the morning and have to run an AQ and an Alliance War lane. Before I go to work. That is... like, just, I'm not feeling that right now.
No, I get it.
I feel like I could get into some war and that'd be fine, but it's like, I guess I'm just so sick of Alliance Quest right now that I want to break from that. But, they've given us the break from Alliance War, so that's great.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, like, I don't know that I want to leave all those Battlegrounds rewards on the table.
Yeah.
Not being in an alliance next year when they're boosted. Plus, like, I'm probably gonna, even if I was solo, like I'd probably put up 300 to 400K in an event.
Yeah.
So I feel like I gotta join an alliance for Battleground season rewards next year, next season. But I don't know. I don't want to rush into any decision right now. But I'm probably gonna look at some sort of like, when we talk about the different styles of alliance, some sort of optional AQ AW alliance where people are gonna put up a decent Battlegrounds score. So if you know of that alliance, feel free to send me a message, and I will take it under consideration.
I think I think I'll speak to our alliance because we're going to be pushing next. We do map 6. I'm not sure what the future is with that one because there's been discussions of how we're evolving the alliance, because it started off as kind of like a chill alliance and it's kind of like escalated. But I also need to kind of like think about what I'm doing, because I thought to myself, oh, I'll have some time for this and this and this, and then it's like, okay, we're going to try and push next season with obviously things in mind with the Alliance Wars, and I get it, and I need to figure out where my time is, because as of next week I'll start this new position. I need to think about same issue, like I will need to wake up earlier to do my AQ and AW. Yes, actually I will, because I was about to say like, well, I'll just do it in the evening, but I always now do it in the evening. I'm a bit more kind of like on it to say, right, well, I'll move 10 p.m. 10 p.m. before I start getting sleepy. I'll do Alliance Wars, then I'll do my AQ probably 11:30 whilst I'm just in bed and just before I go to sleep. And that's really the process with it. But it's not. It does come to a point where I'm getting not sick of it, but I think a lot of players have to kind of like have a look at this kind of element of burnout again. I think if Battlegrounds had not been put in about a year ago and had been as competitive as it is, and because it became some of a requirement in some circumstances, and especially to kind of chase better rewards, and especially more so if you're a free-to-play player.
Absolutely.
Players are chasing these things, sadly, that become... and I've just started getting back into incursions, but then I have to kind of go, right, is it worth me taking 3 hours out for that when I should be using 3 hours to invest into Battlegrounds? And like, is it worth it for the shards that I do? And how far am I getting? Is this a lost leader? Am I just doing it because it's like enjoyable versus doing some other content? And these again are kind of like just questions, like with those 3 hours, should I be investing it into my YouTube channel to improve stuff? When it came to like, I worked on my Discord for 4 hours the other day, and it's like,
no, I noticed you got a lot of different stuff going on.
Yeah,
all these different little icons for all the rooms. It's looking good in here, Rich.
I've got a lot more work to do. But then again, it's like the point of going. But then I enjoyed doing that because then people kind of like that. It's kind of like this was
gets people excited.
Yeah, it's what I was meant to do with the Discord about several years ago, probably about 2-3 years ago. But then it's like things happen. I took the job of Final Strike to work for them as a game capture artist. I then went and did that for 1.5 years. So it's like, well, and I didn't want to say no to that because that was my foot in the door with the games industry.
Sure.
And I had to take it. So I had to take it. I wanted to take it.
Yeah. No.
And I wanted and needed it, so it's like double prong with that. But I do need to work on the Discord, so it's things like I worked on a bot for a YouTube bot to take my notifications in, but it's like, you know, the bot worked for day 1, and then after it didn't work at all. So it's like back to the drawing board with that, and it's like I have to then block out time in order to do certain things. But now I'm saying to myself, look, commit to building stuff, even if it's gonna work or not work, and just do it. But again, it's like time. This is the problem I think I speak to most people. It's like, well, it's the amount of time available in their lives. I mean, you know, your family, you got
absolutely,
you got sons,
you gotta pick and choose. You gotta pick a lane sometimes and cut some stuff out. And I think that's a hard part that we all have to learn, is that we can't do all of our good ideas or do all the things that we would enjoy doing potentially. Because, you know, if you just invest just a little % of yourself into, 20 different things, like, you're just not going to maximize all those things. It's just impossible. So sometimes we have to make painful cuts.
Yeah, true.
My job's in marketing, so I kind of think like that anyway, because, that's kind of an endless task
Yeah.
of marketing. Like, you can always do more, and it's
Yeah.
like we're always nice. Like, just because we have a good idea, we don't do it. That's not always a reflection on whether or not the idea is a good idea or not. It just may be, well, we only have the resources to do so many ideas, and that's not high enough up the ladder right now. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not a reflection on necessarily on who's saying the idea or even whether the idea has merit. It's just we can only do so much without burning everybody out. So we
Yeah.
have to kind of it's that constant triaging of the order of importance, and it's like do the most important thing first.
Yeah.
Is a good rule to live by, and then go from there. And then if you get frustrated, it's like, well, I said this was number one, and I would get that done, and I did. So you can fall back on that, and I think that's a good way to continue to think about MCOC, because as we talked about before, even the devs have said there's too much to do in MCOC unless you're playing 24/7.
Yeah.
There's just way too many options, and it's great for the overall health of the game and having something for everyone.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those that's going to be annoyed that you haven't completed everything, you're in for a world of hurt in this game now.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like, I had to kind of like get out of that mindset of like frustration and kind of like inadequacy. I think in some ways
that's fair. I mean, you see people, completing the event quest on day one, and you're like, I can't do that anymore.
No, I'd sat down and did 4 hours. I think it was a block 4 hours of time to just do all the side quest runs. And I thought, this is good because I got the time for this now. And then after that, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should have done that. There's other stuff I should have been doing with my time. I can create some stuff. I mean, I did. No, I did. I was kind of like a valley because then I was able to go, okay, well, these are the champions, defenders that I faced off against.
Yeah, I think you gave a lot of good content. People were using those recommendations.
Thank you.
That was some good stuff, Rich.
Thanks.
People were asking for that, so.
Yeah, I was happy with the coverage, and I mean it was good in some ways because by Caban making that mistake in that you were able to claim all your devices.
Right, yeah, you could play it all quickly. You were able to digest the whole side quest pretty much instantly.
Yeah, and I know the thing is, I kind of feel like it's actually in some ways a good thing because again, I had choice. Like I had choice whether or not I was going to 100% the side quest or 100% Thronebreaker difficulty. By doing the side quest 100%, it meant that there was a lot more I could then go, right, well, I've done this. I can then reprioritize stuff. I know Caban would disagree and go, well, no, we need to give you content to kind of like do over the staggered over the space of a month. Yeah. But in some ways, it really did. It really worked for me personally. And I know other people were like, well, we've got this done now. I'm going to focus on something else. And for me, my plan is side quest now is 100%. By Sunday, fingers crossed, I managed 100% the Thronebreaker difficulty. Then I can do some battlegrounds to get up my total to a certain point for my threshold for our alliance, our minimum target per person. Then and save my elder marks because obviously got to push next season. But then I've got to try and do some arena at the same time as doing my Act 8.2. So that's and then what it means is like I've been able to, fingers crossed, by the end of the month catch up, or the end of the event catch up, and also do shooting star quests because I've got to do that. Also do an incursions run and continue grabbing units to then start because I'm going to miss July 4th. I've got to be realistic with taking on this new position. I've got to prioritize Cyber Weekend as opposed to where I'm up to.
Gotcha.
And Banquet event 2023.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I feel like, July 4th and Cyber Weekend get all the headlines, but for me, it's really Banquet and Spring Cleaning now are the two big ones. Like, those are the two that I look forward to the most. There's a lot of, I don't know, I still like the gifting event or whatever we're going to call it. I like opening those crystals. It's fun. And Spring Cleaning's always been great because there's that free-to-play element to it. You can spend a little bit. They always seem to have a lot of player choice there that's not always present in July 4th or Cyber Weekend. So I don't know. I just always enjoy that event. But yeah, you mentioned Battlegrounds and getting your getting your score up. Where are you at in Battlegrounds right now?
I'm still in silver. Still in
You're
silver.
still in silver, so
Yeah.
you gotta get to platinum, and then the world is your oyster, Rich.
Apparently so.
Then it is shocking, the difference between Gold 1. Like Gold 1 was so hard.
Yeah.
And then you get to, because everyone's kind of bunched up against that wall, and then you get to platinum, and the matchmaker's just like free for all, and you're just getting forfeits because you're playing these poor, Cav players and Thronebreaker players, and you're seeing a lot of 4 and 5 stars in the deck, and they're not tanking. That's what they got. You're taking on sub 1 million accounts. Because it's everyone in there, and then it gets hard again in Diamond 1, getting into Vibranium.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people stacked up there, and I actually did use a few victory shields there, just because once you get to like 3 out of 5 medals, it's just like, if I'm not going to use them here, where am I going to use them? I had like 10 saved up because they just keep throwing them at you. And I got to Gladiator Circuit for the first time ever. So I'm sitting in Uru 3 right now.
Nice.
I'll probably just do the objectives for the rest of the season. Like my goal was simply to see if I could make Gladiator Circuit this season with the changes in matchmaking. I was able to do that.
Yeah.
I was happy to have accomplished that goal. It still feels very weird.
Yeah.
Silver and gold are harder than platinum and diamond, but that was the compromise.
Yeah.
So that the lower level players, and I don't mean this as an insult to you guys. It's that's in there to protect you guys so that you could get some rewards. I know there's every forum thread is like, oh, is this matchmaking fair? It's like, oh, well, you shouldn't be in diamond to begin with, and it's like we can go around in circles forever with that. It's it's kind of a compromise so that the Cavs and the Thronebreakers can get some rewards, but eventually the Paragon players aren't sort of just in their own segment the whole way up the victory track. So
yeah,
is it perfect? No. Is it better? For me, it is.
Yeah, for me,
I'll admit that it's better for me. It's not better for some players.
The issue that I had is I had to participate before I went on the cruise, and then came back because we had the new event quest. And that's the thing. Soon as it went live, Battlegrounds, I decided to go into it, which is not the greatest. Unlike day 1, day 2, for the first 3 days,
it's rough.
Yeah,
to give you an idea, is rough.
To give you an idea, I faced off against a player which I've got up now. Their total base hero rating is just under 5 mil.
They got some 7 stars.
They at the moment have got rank 5 Doctor Doom, Hercules, Kitty Pryde. And
that is a very meta profile.
Yeah, we're talking a prestige of 18,300.
That'll get you some tasty rewards.
But to give you but this is the thing. Like, I had to move then. And this is the problem with me kind of stagnating. And this is why, like, it was just a case of like, if I didn't move before I went on the cruise, I've lost 7 days. Of participation. And then when I came back, it's like, well, I'm focusing on side quest. I'm focusing on my content. I'm back now. So I just I had to. It's just a case of I had to go when I needed to go. It was rough. I lost a lot in some circumstances. Won some here or there, but at the end of the day, nothing I could do. So this is why I'm going to then get back into it, which I assume would give me not better matchmaking, but give me more fairer matchmaking.
It'll all the play. In those first 48 hours, you're playing against everybody. With those huge accounts, that's going to make it to Gladiator Circuit very quickly. So those people have been there for a long time. They're not there, but so you'll definitely you get some late starters, but you'll get some more reasonable matches, I assume. It's it's funny. I was joking once I got to like Diamond 1. There's like every match I got either had a legend badge or was a Cavalier player. Like it was like you'd wait for like the profile to pop up, and it's like you see legend badge, Abyss stared back, and you're like, okay, this is not gonna be gentle. Or then you just see the Cavalier, or they've got like a 5-star profile picture, and you're like, all right, this is probably not gonna be so bad. But like it was very rarely where I was like, okay, this is an even matchup for me. It was either like I am significantly ahead account wise, or this other person is probably a lot better than me.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes you'd win against someone with a Legends badge, or there was a couple of people with like 1.5 mil, 1.2 mil accounts. Like, obviously they never ranked up 4 stars or probably even some 5 stars because they're newer accounts, but they had these super meta decks. It's like, they've got the Rintra, they've got the Scorpion, they've got the Nimrod, they've got the Sauron, Kitty Pryde, Nick Fury. Like, they might only have 30 champs at 6-star rank 3, but they got the right 30 champs.
Yeah.
And you got to give them credit. Like, they've caught up quickly, and they've got a super meta deck. And they can actually be really challenging, even though, like, you'd look at it on paper and you'd be like, oh, I've got 3,000 more prestige than you and 2 million more in player rating. But the decks are actually pretty fair.
Yeah, you got to admire the moxie there with them
Absolutely.
to kind of get up there. I think that's just that's great. Some of our topics, because it's been nice. We've kind of like
topics.
Yeah,
we've been rambling for 45 minutes. We actually have show notes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like good. We've had some kind of, I think good kind of like.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
I think if we properly thought about kind of like how we'd structure the show, we may have had some of the points that we kind of discussed. But this is the thing about us being like not recording a little while. I'm not feeling I still trying to kind of catch up with everything since the live stream. There's stuff that we'll kind of go with the Battle Realm Brawl. Which I'm still trying to like figure out what the heck's going on with this.
I'm super excited about this, but they kind of slipped this one in. Like, they had some sort of stealth announcements this week where they've announced this Battle Realm Brawl. So this seems to be the next big live event that Kabam has done. That we haven't seen one of these since New York Comic Con in 2019. But they're doing it in Vancouver.
Nice.
And I am planning to be there.
Good.
So it's October 20th and 21st, live in person in Vancouver. There's going to be a player summit. There's going to be the finals of the Battle Realm Brawl, which I guess is going to be the top 8 from the Gladiator circuit in season 10 of Battlegrounds. So that's not this season. That's not next season. It's the season after next season.
Yeah.
So the August season. So if you're in the top 8 of Gladiator circuit, looks like you're potentially going to be punching your ticket to Vancouver to compete live. And I'm super excited that there's going to be an event to bring the community together. New York Comic Con was always super fun. Now being in Boston, getting to New York is quite easy for me.
Yes.
Compared to Vancouver. But it's been 4 years, and if you've never been to Vancouver, Vancouver is an amazing city. I went there on my honeymoon. Just a fantastic, welcoming, beautiful city on the Pacific coast of Canada. So if you can make it, I think it's going to be a great time to meet your fellow players and the Kabam devs, and you get to see in person that Kabam Mickey is actually super chill in person.
He is.
So and got to meet Jax.
Yep.
And hopefully a bunch of others. So Rich, you're probably still in the phase where it's like you got work and you can't commit to something right away. Are you thinking about it?
It's a bit of a tough one with this because I think that I won't have enough leave time. Because when you join a company, you kind of like you start earning time pro rata.
You start accruing and
and
it's not it's one thing like I'm flying across country.
Yeah.
Or across the continent, I guess technically, because I am crossing the border.
Yeah.
So it's like a 6-hour flight for me. It's probably like 12 for you.
Yeah, I think for it, I'll have to. I think it might be 8 or 9, maybe 9 or 10, probably 10. Yes, it's a bit of a tough one because then I have to book time either side of it. So rather than being like, book 2 days off, it's like no, I'll have to be like 4 days off. Because it goes over the weekend, it'll have to be like, I book Wednesday, no, the Thursday, Friday would have to be booked off, and the Monday, Tuesday of the following week, in order to kind of like, well, I'd be like, I'm there for one day, the other day, and then it'll be the travel day, and then it'll be travel back home from the airport day, because I'll have to, so I've got to travel, I'd have to travel to Heathrow in London to then go over. It's just I'm not saying it's a logistical nightmare. I'm happy. I would be happy to do it. It probably would cost a lot, and that's another thing as well. To kind of like, even if you get some low cost side of things, there's a lot, just a case of being allowed the annual leave off, especially because I not have to, but I'd be booking off my anniversary the previous month, and that would be my first amount of leave being used, and it would be like I booked five days off. So it causes an issue, because I've already then started taking annual leave. If you're joining a new job and you're going, oh, by the way, I'm taking off 10 days.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start, like, your first day.
No.
Like, oh, by the by, I have all these trips planned, and can I go to a negative paid time off balance right away? I can understand that, Rich. I can understand that.
It's annoying, and it's a tough one. The thing is, I would have loved to have gone to to commentate it rather than kind of like, I mean, I just would have liked to come to that commentate, because I just maybe would have put like a bit of a fun twist on it. But I can imagine they've probably got other people they've got preferred to do it.
Sure, yeah.
But I suppose what we could do is, depending if they live stream, I'll just do reactions from here in the UK and do like some commentary.
If it ends up that I go and you can't make it, I will just I'll send you some stuff. I'll be your RichTheMan correspondent.
Yeah, my correspondent in the field.
I will get you all the good stuff, and you can use what you need for the channel, and we'll go from there. So
that'd be cool.
Whatever we need to do so that RichTheMan has a presence.
Yeah. Are you planning?
Make it happen.
Are you planning on booking some time and staying in Vancouver whilst it's happening, or?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna go. So it's Friday, Saturday. So I'll probably. I'm gonna have to look at it. I've already requested the Thursday, Friday off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get there as early as possible on Thursday, and then head out on Sunday. So probably there just for the Battle Roam Brawl and the summit. So that's a very busy time of year for me.
Yeah.
Fall is very busy. So getting away for a weekend in October is not something I would normally even conceive of, unless it was something that was a very extenuating circumstance, like something like this that I really, really want to do. And it's been 4 years since the last Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, like, you only live once, and I don't tend to do a lot of that YOLO stuff. But this is one of those, like, it's so fun to see everyone in person, and there's so much great content that comes out of that. And there's always a great energy coming out of the Comic-Cons. This podcast was born out of New York Comic-Con, and us meeting and talking at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, the plan was going to be the 2020 was going to be literally us kind of like trying to set up a Airbnb, and then we do coverage come in the evening, and then kind of do podcasts like live on what we found out during the day, and kind of like stuff going on, and then get like people to come over as guests to kind of so it's like it was annoying, and it's annoying that I can't. Well, it's very if I was certainty of me attending, it would be about 10 to 20% chance, unless something like unless it's kind of said by the new company that it would be acceptable. But it is very difficult to join a company and go, oh, by the way, loads of time off. I mean, it's only 4 months. It's 4 months away, right? Yeah, so my probation pretty early in your tenure. I have 3 month probation period, and kind of like I just come out of that probation period and go I'm taking all this time off. Which is funny enough, as soon as I come out of my probation period, I got then my anniversary kind of like off, and it's like, okay, well that's that's sort of acceptable and understandable because it's anniversary and I just come out of probation period. But then going,
Yeah.
by the way, the following month I have to take off a further 4 to 5 extra days,
Right.
and it's just like,
Yep. No, I hear you. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about that as they reveal more info. Real quick, Summoner Market, the new web store. This was another kind of stealth announcement where it was kind of live before they officially acknowledged it. Now, this seems to come out of the whole Epic Games versus Apple and Google and the stores. So kind of very interesting from just watching the game development aspect of this.
Yeah.
Now, Pokemon Go launched something very similar maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
A web store. So it seems like the real big mobile games are headed in this direction, Rich.
Yeah, I like this.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
More power to the developers. As much as, and as I said before, I'm sure there'll be people go like, it just makes Kabam make more money. But it's not just about that. It's about other developers, indie developers, bigger kind of like developers. The more money developers have, the more they can. Yes, okay, if there's shareholders, then of course there's more money that's available to that and that stuff. But there's other circumstances where this helps the games industry and gives more money, more power to them, as opposed to kind of having to go over the corporate monopoly that is going through the likes of Apple and Google when it comes to these transactions, because they are scooping a lot of money away from innovation,
15 to 30% based on the size of your revenue.
Yeah, that's
that they're taking.
That's like people employed.
That's a lot.
Yeah, as people employed. Yes, it's profits. And again, I'm sure people will come back to that. It's go like, it's profits for these big companies. Well, if a company reinvests, and a lot of time companies are trying to reinvest to keep people on board. It's just it's more power to the developers, and I'm for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if you're buying units, you're going to get more units through the web store anyway.
That's
so they are going to incentivize you. They already are incentivizing you to buy through the web store. I did test it. I did get the daily special, the day one, just for the novelty of seeing will this work? Will my $5 end up in my account?
And maybe
and it did.
What's going to happen is Kabam will give like more value to that tax break. They probably won't actually.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's going to be like, okay, well, because the thing is, they may be able to keep it as, because certain countries it's not $99 worth.
Right.
If you're in Asia and going like it's $99, if you're in Europe and it's like 90, it's like it should always remain about $99. They can keep that rate similar, if not the same, consistency. But if they have to go through certain tax elements that Google and Apple slap down on the developer for the country, they can try and keep it at a balance. So it could be better.
And I would imagine, they don't have control when Apple changes a conversion rate for the tier, right? Like, because we see that sometimes, like, this used to be X amount of Australian dollars, and now it's Y amount. Why did you do this? And they're like, talk to Apple. So I don't know if this gives them direct control or it's through the through whoever's running this this store. But I would think it gives them a little more leeway there, which is helpful. And we'll probably see some unique offers. I think it's interesting that they're launching it now, 3 weeks before July 4th. Like, this very clearly seems to be a soft open, test the concept, hopefully work the bugs out. And it's going to be really interesting to see if the in-game offers and the web store offers on July 4th are different, if you can double dip. Because they've been kind of coy about that.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's going to, July 4th is going to be the first real big test of this new system and what it makes them. And it's also going to be interesting because, a lot of times, like, we've judged the health of the company by sales.
Yep.
And a lot of it's those quarterly reports, which are obviously super useful. Yeah. But sometimes it's just like people just daily pulling the dailies from the Apple store. that they
Yeah.
can, some people have subscriptions where they can get those numbers. Like, oh, MCOC was #1 on July 4th in the App Store.
Yeah.
Are they still going to be #1 with this web store? Does it matter? Like, how's that all going to be perceived now that if Kabam made $1 million in a day through the sales in the App Store, and then that $1 million goes to the web store, but they're not sending 30% to Apple. They're actually winning. That's not a lateral move. That's actually a big win. But it's going to be interesting to see how that all functions, and they're never going to share it, but I would be super interested to see, like, what's the adoption rate? What do they think it's going to be? How much is this web store really worth to them? So we will see. But I think this Summoners Market is going to be a big story in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how things evolve with that one. As I said, July 4th is going to be a quite crucial element to it. It still doesn't encourage me to kind of go like, oh, I want to come back to spend, because I kind of like this, what I'm doing at the moment. I feel that it's a new challenge in my MCOC career to kind of go like, okay, well, what am I on? This is 8 years, aren't we? Are we on an 8th year or 9th year playing?
No, I think we're 8. Yeah,
8 on the 8th year.
Yeah, I hit 8 years in February.
Right. Okay. So
yeah,
it's a long time, and so but for me it is a case of going like, right, if I've done 6 years of kind of like buying some things and then kind of like changing it up really.
No, you gotta, like I said, you gotta find your fun, gotta get your play style, and these things change. What our goals are, they evolve, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, Rich, I think we're getting to that point where I gotta get ready to run to work. It is the last day of school for the little man here in the U.S.
It's holiday time.
He has to submit his report on paramecium today, so that's his last project. He's super into it, but very quickly, like, YouTube has totally changed the way that kids present information, because he has written his report basically like you would present a YouTube video. Like, he's got a little teaser at the beginning. He's like, munch, munch, munch. What is that? Oh, it's a paramecium. Fact 1. And it's like fact 2, fact 3. And it's like, I hope you enjoyed my report on parameciums. And like, literally, like, all that's missing is smash the like button and subscribe at the end of his presentation.
Well, you can take my job. I'll have to get him on the channel.
No, but, Rich, we're not going to be able to compete in a few years, because these kids, they like, it's all they know.
Yeah.
Like, they can't comprehend that YouTube didn't exist when we were kids and that we didn't have iPads. So it's just wild. But yeah, last day of school, so summer fun's happening. It's so funny. So, like, he's going to McDonald's with one of his friends, like, right after school to kind of celebrate. But it's just like, that's like the kid equivalent of like going out to the bar after a big work project. Like, oh, dude, first grade, that was rough. We gotta get some chicken nuggets. Gotta get some tendies. They gotta celebrate. So
that's lovely. That's beautiful.
Looking for it's gonna be a fun day for him. I'm glad he accomplished that. But yeah, man, it's I don't know. Like I said, I gotta finish up this Battleground season. I gotta get into Act 8. That's the plan. What are you doing for the rest of the week?
Probably finding out what this job entails, and kind of like just kind of not warming myself, but kind of like just sinking my teeth into it. I think that's probably the main
getting your
thing.
head wrapped around it.
Yeah. Once that's done, then it's like I can then just kind of continue on. And yeah, MCOC wise, probably just making it probably will be the adjustment week, because I won't have as much time during the day, and I've got to basically use my evenings to create content.
Right,
I've got to
adjust to that schedule.
Yeah, I've got to adjust to that schedule and find a way that makes that work, and also figure out then what I'm doing at the weekends, because I'll probably have to work. I probably wouldn't work. I may do a bit on Saturday, but a lot of my work will be done on the Sunday, which is kind of annoying, because maybe I'll lose my weekends, but at the same time it's like needs must, so it is what it is. So I need to keep the YouTube channel, whatever a channel is, channel going, So yeah, that's really it. Well, we may be speaking on Sundays. We may be doing live shows on Sundays in future.
Yeah, we will see.
Yep, good to speak to you, Dan.
What the future holds, but we will be back at some point. But thank you, everybody, for sticking with us, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Dan did the intro this time. Bye.